Vine was a young girl who worked very hard every day. She had no parents and only one younger sister named Arya. The two sisters lived in a small old house. It had just two small rooms, a tiny kitchen, and a bathroom. They had many debts because their parents had left them with loans. The loan sharks would come to their door every month and shout at them. Arya was a sweet girl who was very smart. She was in her final year of school and dreamed of going to university. Ryan wanted to make her sister's dream come true. She loved her sister more than anything. One afternoon, Ryan was serving coffee at the cafe. A tall, handsome man walked in. He has dark eyes and strong face. He was dressed in expensive black suit. Ryan did not know who he was. She just saw him as another customer. Jay looked at her and felt something strange in his heart. She was so beautiful and strong. He had never seen a girl like her before. He wanted her from that very moment. He started coming to the cafe every day. He tried to talk to her many times, but she always ignored him. Jay was shocked. No woman had ever rejected him before. This rejection made him want her even more. Jay used his power to find out everything about Ryan. He learned about her debts, her small house, and her sister Arya. He knew that Arya was her weakness, so he made a plan. He went with his men to Ryan's house one night. The men surrounded the small house. She looked out of the window and saw many men in black suits. Her heart started beating faster. Then Jay walked in through the front gate. Ryan was shaking with fear. "What do you want? Why are you here?" Jay looked at her. "Ryan, I have a proposal for you. Marry me, and I will take care of everything. Refuse me, and I will kidnap your sister and destroy her life." He turned around and walked away. Ryan fell to her knees and started crying. Arya came home late that night. She found her sister crying on the floor. She hugged her and said, "Sister, what happened?" Ryan wiped her tears and tried to smile. She could not tell Arya about the blackmail. She had to protect her, so she lied. "Arya, I'm getting married." Arya was shocked. "But sister, do you love him?" Ryan looked away. "Yes, I do. He's a good man. I'm doing this for us. I want you to have a good future." Arya hugged her sister and cried. "I want you to be happy too." Ryan held her sister tightly. "I will be happy. Just trust me." 3 days later, Ryan went to Jay's mansion and agreed to marry him. She said with tears, "I will marry you, but I will never love you. You are forcing me. I will hate you forever. But promise me you will never hurt my sister." Jay smiled and said, "This is fine. You will learn to love me one day. And I promise I will never hurt your sister." The wedding was a grand ceremony. Ryan wore a beautiful white dress. That night they were alone in the bedroom. Ryan stood far away from Jay and looked at him with hate. Jay walked toward her. "Ryan, you're my wife now. Accept this." Ryan shouted, "I will never accept you. You forced me into this marriage. I hate you." Jake tried to come closer, but Ryan was too angry. In the moment of rage, she raised her hand and slapped Jay hard across his face. Ryan shouted, "You deserve that." Jay's eyes darkened with hunger. He grabbed her waist and pulled her close. His lips crashed onto hers in a rough, demanding kiss. Ryan was shocked. She pushed him away and slapped him again. She shouted, "How dare you! Stay away from me!" But Jack did not stay away. He grabbed her face and kissed her again, even deeper. She screamed, "Stop it!" Jay stopped and looked at her. He wiped his lip and saw blood. He smiled and said, "You have so much fire, Ryan. This is why I love you. But remember, you are mine now." Ryan was shaking with anger and confusion. She looked at him with tears. "I will never love you. Never." Jay smiled. He walked away. Wine collapsed on the bed and cried herself to sleep. The days after the wedding were very hard for Wine. She refused to leave her room. She did not talk to Jay. She did not even look at him. Every time she saw his face, she remembered how he had forced her into this marriage. She remembered the kisses he had given her on the wedding night. She hated him for making her feel things. Her heart was so confused. She hated him, but her body remembered his touch. She would lie in bed at night and think about him. She would touch her lips and remember how rough and passionate his kisses were. She would shake her head and tell herself, "No, I hate him. I will never love him." Jay, on the other hand, did not give up. He wanted to make her happy. He wanted to make her smile. He wanted her to look at him with love instead of hate. He decided that he would show her his true heart. He would prove to her that he is not a monster. He would take care of her and her sister without asking for anything in return. He did not tell Ryan what he was doing. He wanted to show her that his love was real. The loan sharks had been threatening her for months. They would come to her house and shout at her. They would scare her sister. Ryan was always afraid, but now Jay sent his men to deal with them. He paid every single penny that Ryan owed. The loan sharks never bothered her again. Ryan did not know about this. She just thought that they had finally given up, but deep down she felt a little relieved. She also took care of Arya's future. Arya was very smart and wanted to go to university, but Ryan could not afford it. She was working so hard, but she could not save enough money for Arya's education. Jay found out about this. He used his connections to get Arya admission into the best university in the city. He paid for everything. He even bought her new clothes. He did all this because he loved Ryan. He knew that Arya was the most important person in Ryan's life. He wanted to make her sister happy so that Ryan would also be happy. One day Arya came to visit Ryan at the mansion. She was so excited. She ran to Ryan and hugged her. She said, sister, I have something to tell you." Ryan smiled and said, "What happened, Arya?" Arya said, "Brother Jake got me admission into the best university. I am going to university, sister. My dream is coming true. And he also bought me new clothes and books too. He's so kind." Ryan was shocked. She said, "What? University? How?" Arya said, "Brother Jake did everything. He paid for everything." Ryan went to find Jay. She walked into his study and stood in front of him. Her eyes were full of tears. They looked up and said, "Ryan, what happened? Are you okay?" Ryan said, "Why did you do all of this? My sister's university. Why?" Jay said, "Because I love you, Ryan. I know you hate me, but I want to take care of your sister." Ryan started crying. "But you forced me to marry you. How can you say you love me?" Jay came closer. "I was desperate. I saw you and fell in love. I could not let you go. I'm sorry for forcing you, but I promise I will spend my whole life making it up to you." Ryan looked at Jay. She saw pain in his eyes. He had given her sister a future. He had given her a home. She felt her heart soften, but she was still confused. She did not know what to feel. The next day Jay decided to bring Arya to live with them in the mansion. He knew Ryan missed her sister. He wanted to make her happy. He went to Ryan and said, "I want Arya to live with us. She can have her own room." Ryan looked at him with surprise and said, "Really? You would let her live here?" Jay said, "Of course. This is your home too. And Arya is your sister. She is family." Ryan felt a small crack in her heart. "Okay, thank you, Jay." Arya moved into the mansion the very next day. She was so happy. She ran around the mansion and explored every room. Vine smiled and said, I am glad you are happy, Arya. Arya hugged her and said, I am so happy, sister. Brother Jay is so kind. He gave me the best room. Look, it has a pink bed and a study table. There are so many books. I love it. Vine saw the joy in her sister's eyes and felt grateful. Jay had given her sister so much happiness. Life in the mansion slowly became normal. Vine started coming out of her room more often. She would have a breakfast with Jay and Arya. She would sit with them during dinner. She would talk to Jay about small things. She would ask him about his day. Jay was so happy. He would answer all her questions. He would tell her about his work. He would make her laugh with his silly jokes. Jay would do small things to make Ryan happy. He would leave fresh flowers outside her room every morning. He would send her favorite food to her room. He would ask the servants to make sure she had everything she needed. He would watch her from a distance and smiled when she laughed. He never pushed her, he gave her space. He waited for her. One morning, Vine woke up and found a small note outside her door. It says, Good morning, my queen. I hope you have a beautiful day. I love you. Jay. Vine read the note and felt her heart flutter. She kept the note in her pocket. She did not know why, but she wanted to keep it. Another day, Vine was sitting in the kitchen. She was reading a book. Jay came and sat next to her. He did not say anything. He just sat there quietly. Vine said, Just a story. Jay said, Can you read it for me? Vine looked at him with surprise. You want me to read to you? Jay nodded. Yes, I want to hear your voice. Vine felt shy, but she started reading. Jay closed his eyes and listened. He had a small smile on his face. When she finished, he said, Your voice is so beautiful. They started joining Ryan and Arya for their evening walks. They would walk in the garden together. Arya would run ahead and play with flowers. Jay and Ryan would walk side by side. They would talk about everything. Jay would tell her about his childhood. He would tell her about his dreams. He would tell her about his fears. Ryan listened to everything. They sat on a bench. The moon was shining brightly. Jay gently took her hand. He said, Your hands are so soft. I have dreamed of holding them. Ryan said, Jay, why do you love me so much? Jay, because you are real. You are strong and kind. You love your sister so much. You have a beautiful. Jay smiled and said, I like that. You were not scared of me. You showed me your fire. This is when I knew you were special. Ryan laughed and said, You were so strange, Jay. Jay said, I know, but I am yours. Jay started taking care of Ryan in small ways. He would open doors for her. He would compliment her every day. One day Jay took Ryan to the rooftop. He had set up a small dinner with candles and flowers. I wanted to do something special for you. Ryan felt her heart melt. They talked for hours. They laughed and shared stories. Jay said, You're so brave, Ryan. I admire you so much. After dinner, they stood near the railing. Ryan said, Jay, I do not hate you anymore. Jay smiled and said, This is enough for me. Week passed. Ryan started falling for Jay. She loved the way he made her laugh. She loved the way he looked at her. She realized she had fallen in love with him. One night Ryan went to Jay's room. He was reading a book. She sat next to him. He looked at her. What happened, Ryan? I love you, Jay. I love you with all my heart. I have been fighting these feelings for so long, but I cannot fight them anymore. You have shown me what true love is. You have taken care of me and my sister. You have made me feel safe. I love you so much. Jay's eyes filled with tears. He pulled her into his arms and hugged her tightly. I love you too. The kiss was slow and romantic. When they broke the kiss, Jay whispered, You are my queen. Vine smiled and said, And you are my mafia king. From that night, their love grew stronger. Jay would wake up every morning early and bring wine tea in bed. He would say, Good morning, my love. They would have breakfast together and laugh. In evening, they would have dinner with Arya. Arya would say, Brother Jay, you are the best. Wine would watch them and feel her heart burst with love. Jay would also spend time alone with Wine. They would sit in the garden and watch the sunset. Jay would say, I want to grow old with you. I want everything with you. Wine would say, I want all of that too, Jay. One night they were lying in bed together. Wine laughed and said, Yes, you were so annoying. Jay laughed. I was desperate for you. Wine turned to face him and said, Jay, I'm so glad I married you. Even though you forced me, I'm glad. You are the best thing that ever happened to me. Jay kissed her forehead and said, You are the best thing that ever happened to me too. From that day on, they lived happily together. Arya lived with them in the mansion. She went to university and became successful. He still called Jay brother and loved him like a real brother. Vine finally found true love in the man who forced her to marry him. Their love story started with anger and tears, but it ended with love and happiness. Every night Jay would hold Vine in his arms and whisper, I love you. 1 year had passed since Vine and Jay got married. Their love had grown deeper every single day. Jay was still the powerful mafia don that everyone feared, but at home he was just a man madly in love with his wife. Vine had become the queen of the mansion. It was a quiet Friday evening. Arya was at university, so it was just Jay and Vine at home. After dinner, they went back to their bedroom. Jay pulled Vine close and whispered, I love you, Vine. I will never stop loving you. Vine said, I love you too, Jay, more than anything. Jay leaned in and kissed her deeply. His hands moved to her waist. He pulled her closer. Vine wrapped her arms around his neck. She melted into his touch. Jay picked her up and carried her to bed. He hovered above her and looked into her eyes. You are so beautiful. Vine smiled. You make me feel beautiful. He leaned down and kissed her neck. He kissed her collarbone. Vine shivered under his touch. She tangled her fingers in his hair. Jay, I need you. Jay smiled against her skin and said, I need you too, baby. The room was filled with soft whispers of love. Vine held him tightly and said, I love you. Jay said, I love you too, forever. Afterward, they lay in each other's arms. Vine rested her head on Jay's chest. Jay traced lazy patterns on her back. He kissed her forehead and said, Thank you for loving me. Vine said, Thank you for never giving up on me. The next morning, Vine woke up feeling nauseous. She had been feeling like this for a few days. She had secretly gone to the doctor last week. The doctor had confirmed she was pregnant. Vine was so happy. She wanted to tell Jay in a special way. She wanted to see the look on his face when he found out he was going to be a father. Vine planned everything carefully. She went to the market and bought a small baby onesie. It was white and soft. It had tiny little stars on it. She also bought a small card. On the card she wrote, Coming soon, love, your little one. She wrapped the onesie and the card in a small gift box. She tied the blue ribbon around it. She hid the box under the pillow. That evening, Vine told Jay she wanted to give him something. Jay smiled and said, A surprise? Okay, my love, my eyes are closed. Vine went to the bedroom and took the gift box. She came back and placed it in Jay's hand. She said, "Open your eyes." He opened his eyes and looked at the small gift box. He said, "What is this?" Wine smiled and said, "Open it and see." Jay carefully untied the ribbon. He read the card. His hands started shaking. He looked at Wine with wide eyes. He said, "Wine, is this what I think it is?" Wine nodded with tears in her eyes. She said, "Yes, Jay, I'm pregnant. We are going to have a baby." Jay's face broke into the biggest smile. His eyes filled with tears. He said, "A baby? We are going to have a baby?" She started crying. He rolled down his cheeks. He had never cried like this before. He was a powerful mafia don who had never shown his emotions. But right now, he could not stop crying. He hugged Wine tightly and said, "Oh my God, a baby. We are having a baby." He pulled back and cupped her face. "Are you serious? Are you really pregnant?" He fell to his knees in front of her. He placed his hand on her stomach. He looked up at her with tears in his eyes and said, "There is a baby in there. Our baby." Wine nodded. "Yes, Jay, our baby." Jay kissed her stomach gently. "Hi, little one, I'm your daddy. I love you so much already. I cannot wait to meet you." Wine felt tears streaming down her face. Jay stood up and hugged her tightly. He was still crying. "You have made me the happiest man in the world. I did not know I could be this happy. A baby. Our baby. I am going to be a father." Wine laughed and said, "And I am going to be a mother." Jay kissed her deeply. It was a kiss full of love and joy. He held her face in his hand and said, Wine wiped his tears and said, "I know you will be the best father, Jay, and I love you more than anything." Jay said, "I love you too, my life. I love you and our baby more than anything in this world." He kissed her again softly. Then he picked her up and carried her to bedroom. He laid her down gently and kissed her stomach one more time. From that night on, Jay was even more protective of Vine. He would not let her lift anything heavy. He would make sure she ate properly. He would bring her food in bed. He would read books about pregnancy. He was so excited. He would talk to her stomach every night. He would say, "Hello, little one. This is your daddy. I love you. I cannot wait to see you." Jay would say, "I am going to be the best father because I have the best wife." Arya was overjoyed when she found out. She hugged Ryan and said, "Sister, I am going to be an aunt. This is so exciting." Jay said, "You are going to be the best aunt, Arya." Arya said, "I am going to spoil this baby so much." He laughed and said, "I know you will." Every night Jay kissed Ryan's forehead and held her close. Ryan rested her head on his chest, feeling his heartbeat. They had come so far from where they started. The journey had been hard, but it was all worth it. Now they had each other, and soon they would have their little one. The future was bright and full of hope, and now they knew without a doubt this is just the beginning of their beautiful love story.